Welcome to Entrepreneurship 211. The name of the course is Business Models, the Design and Delivery of Value. We're going to be examining some things. If you're in the world of business, especially with your own business, we'll talk about 7 different business models, and some of them you may already be using one, maybe even 2, but hopefully we're going to cover some you've only thought about, heard about, and see if it applies to your business for you to be successful in the process as you go through. Let me just touch base and give you a background on myself as you go through. I'm a community college student from way back when. I ended up in the wrong class. I registered for a pre-college English class, and I'm sitting there and I'm the smartest student in the class. In the 3rd week, the teacher says, "How come you're in this class?" I says, "I don't know. I think I'm the smartest, but it's not very much." He says, "That's right, it's not." So we went through and he put me in the special class that I use every single day today. I put me in a speed reading class, and I'm hitting 990 words plus a minute as you go through, with a retention rate typically of 92 to 95% of what I'm reading. That was a fabulous gift from Dr. Rob Avery. And he sat there and paid attention to me that semester and the next as you go through. And it's one of those moments of you meet somebody and you look back in your life and they played a major role in it, and he did. Another person was another community college professor at the same place, Professor Tom Cook. He didn't do what Rob Avery did. He drove me nonstop to become a better student. He expected more out of me, and I rose to the occasion. That being said, those are my 2 best professors as you went through my whole academic career. That being said, I also took a thing called the Strong's Interest Inventory. If that interests you as well, what Strong's did and identified that, you go through, take the test, it takes your personal interest and applies it to the job market. It said that I wanted to be a composer, I wanted to be a writer, I wanted to be an English professor as you go through. It said you should be a CPA, accountant, an attorney, or a chief human resource officer. I took the test and I was mad. What do you mean, an accountant? Oh my gosh, they'd be boring. An attorney, we know about those people. And a chief human resource officer, what's that? But you can kind of see it kind of did well when you look at this. I've been a chief human resource officer for almost 2 decades, a chief business officer with budgets up to $811 million, and I handled legal affairs for 2 colleges. That being said, wow, okay, that test was spot on. Anyway, that being said, you're here also at a community college, and I think it's a great launching point. Let me give you a commercial to help reaffirm your decision to attend Irvine Valley College. It shows you made a wise choice financially. We have small class sizes. We have a commuter school. We have a family story where somebody sat down there, instead of going off to university, they went to community college, saved the money, and by the time they were all done, they graduated with a bachelor's degree and an MBA, and more importantly, they were debt-free in the process you go through. Pretty cool, being that debt-free. Make sure it doesn't damage your future because you're in debt for $70,000 to $200,000 trying to repay loans. This is a good place to begin as you go through. Here's my academic background. Associate of Arts from Macomb Community College, a Bachelor of Science from Wayne State University, an MBA from Oak University, and then finally a PhD from the Union Institute University as you go through. We also have a family business that we've had for a couple of years as you go through, and I was also president of a company with my dad. We had another home business once upon a time many years ago. So I've had some experience specifically in entrepreneurship, and especially about this aspect of the different models as you go through. So we'll be talking about a couple things. Here is my background. When I graduated from college, I ended up being a retail store manager. That gave me a huge amount of experience about how to get along with people, how also to make decisions, because I had to make 10 to 12 decisions every hour as you go through. Then from there, I ended up being a principal of a K-12. We had a startup of a Christian school as you go through. From there, I went to be a general manager of a giant housing cooperative as you go through. We owned 87 buildings and a big chunk of the city of Centerline, Michigan. And then really at Fitzgerald Public Schools, I was director of facilities and transportation at a K-12 district as you go through. And also my first job in the finance area was director of campus services at Oakland Community College for the Auburn Hills campus, and eventually director of operations for all 5 campuses Eventually, from there, I ended up coming here to California as the Vice President of Human Resources at College of the Desert, and then Vice Chancellor of Human Resources for IVC and Saddleback College, and right now here as Professor of Business for IVC. That's my background, and I'm looking forward to talking more about the aspect to you when we hit all the details. Just for fun, though, I've authored 4 books. My 5th one is just finished recently. Backboneology is probably my most ambitious work. The tough decisions at work. I really dive into the details of how to make tough decisions. A couple poem books, a Vietnamese American Pride, which is a child bicultural primer as you go through. I've also written a couple of plays as you go through and some screenplays. Probably the funnest one I've done is called Zombie Dearest as you go through, a musical comedy as you go through. If you need to get a hold of me, the best way to always do it is by email. Here's my email address. It's also in your syllabus. My office is over in Vistic Building. The best thing to do is schedule something online for right now to sit down and contact me. We'll sit down and talk if you need it. That being said, I'm looking forward to talking to you the next segment on course details, because we have a really cool model that I think is going to really apply to you, and hopefully you'll enjoy the process of the rest of the semester. Take care.